What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to go over 7 of the most common misconceptions about fitness and nutrition. Before I get into it, I just want to mention that I've been recording the last couple videos in my car because now that everyone is quarantined and stuck at home, it's much harder to make videos at home when there's people there. So I've been recording the videos in my car so that there's less background noise. But unfortunately, as you can probably hear, the weather here sucks and it is currently pouring rain. So hopefully the audio isn't too bad on this video, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get into the video. The first common mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to lose fat is that they think that they have to go into a huge caloric deficit, meaning they have to cut their calories by some huge amount. That's not true at all. The best approach is actually to reduce your calories as little as possible to still lose fat. And then when the weight loss starts to slow down or it stops completely, you make more adjustments. But if you make a huge calorie cut right away, then you have nowhere to go when the weight loss slows down. What are you going to adjust then? So start with the smallest possible changes that you can make while still losing fat. The second common misconception is fasted cardio. There's a lot of people that say that you have to do fasted cardio in order to lose fat, or that doing fasted cardio is the best way to lose the most fat. That is all false. Doing fasted cardio does burn slightly more fat while you're doing the cardio. But what ends up happening then throughout the day is your body compensates for that and actually burns less fat the rest of the day. So if you don't do fasted cardio, your body will burn more fat throughout the day, and so it kind of evens out. So if you like doing fasted cardio, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Feel free to do it, but it's not a necessary thing to do for fat loss. In fact, cardio isn't really even that necessary to do at all for fat loss. I'll cover that in another mistake later on in this video. The next common misconception about fitness is that women will get too big or too muscular if they lift heavy weights. That is completely false. The two biggest things that determine how muscular someone gets are hormones and genetics. On average, men produce about 20 times more testosterone than women, which translates into more muscle mass. So for women, if they lift heavy weights, it will usually result in more muscle definition instead of just more muscle mass. Now, there are always the genetic exceptions for men and for women, but women should not be afraid to lift heavy weights. The next biggest mistake or misconception is targeted fat loss, or the thought that you can lose fat from specific parts of your body. For example, there's people that think that if you do enough ab exercises, you'll lose fat from your belly. That's completely false. Your body loses fat from the entire body, and it will lose fat from different parts of the body at different stages. So for some people, they might lose fat in their arms before they lose fat in their legs or their abdomen, and for other people it might be completely different. But there is actually no such thing as targeted fat loss. The best approach for fat loss in general is just a good workout routine and a good nutrition plan. Eat well, work out, and over time you're going to lose fat from everywhere on your body. Next up is the thought that cardio is the best type of training for fat loss. That's not actually true. The best type of training for fat loss is resistance training or weight training. The reason for that is through weight training you build more lean muscle mass, and lean muscle mass requires more fuel for your body to burn, which in turn speeds up your metabolism, which results in burning more fat. If you aren't sure about this, on average, in an hour of cardio, let's say steady state cardio, which is an hour of steady, medium paced cardio, let's say you do an hour on an elliptical, probably burns somewhere around 400 calories. In an intense hour-long weight workout, you could burn up to 800 or 900 calories. But it's not just about the calories burned during the workout. Like I mentioned, it also has to do with how it speeds up your metabolism. But building more lean muscle mass also changes your body composition, which has a huge effect on the way you look as well. The next big misconception is meal timing or meal frequency. Recently, people have started to realize that this really isn't as big of a deal as they used to think it was, but there's still a lot of people that think it is a big deal. Meal timing, or what time of day you have your meals, along with how many meals you have in a day, really don't have a very big effect on your body composition. Now, there's some stuff that you can get into about insulin spikes, especially if you're a diabetic. Meal timing is very important, but for the average person, if you're just trying to lose fat or build muscle or just maintain a healthy lifestyle, meal timing and frequency really doesn't make a difference. Ultimately, the thing that matters is total calories eaten and burned in a day. So if you're trying to lose fat, you want to be in a caloric deficit, and if you're trying to build muscle, you want to be, well, it is possible to build some muscle while you lose fat. That's another misconception, kind of a bonus tip for you. It is very possible to build muscle while you lose fat, especially if you have a lot of fat to lose. In the early stages of losing the fat, it is very possible to put on muscle, but as you get down to lower levels of body fat, it becomes much harder to build muscle. It is easier to put on muscle if you're in a caloric surplus, which means that you're eating more than you burn in a day. But even if your goal is to put on muscle and you want to eat in a caloric surplus, the same rule applies for that as it does for the caloric deficit, just in the opposite direction. You don't want to have a huge difference in your calories burned and your calories eaten. So if you're trying to eat in a surplus, you really don't want to just eat a ton of food. If you can shoot for maybe 300 calories more than you burn in a day, that would be a pretty good starting point. I can make another video talking more about this in detail because I think it's something that's very important for people to understand. But back to the point that meal timing and frequency really don't have a huge effect on you. Like I said, the thing that matters the most is total calories eaten and total calories burned. Next up, and the last misconception I'm going to talk about in this video, is that sweating burns calories. Now, I don't think this one is a super common misconception. I don't think there's a lot of people that believe it, although maybe there are, I don't know. Sweating does not burn calories. For example, you could go and sit in a sauna and sweat like crazy, but that doesn't mean that you're burning a ton of calories. And you can have a hard workout and not sweat at all. That would be a little bit weird, but there are some people that just sweat a lot less than other people. Sweating is just your body's way of regulating your core temperature. So when your temperature heats up, your body sweats to help it cool off. But while sweating doesn't burn calories, it usually can indicate that you're working hard. If you're having an intense workout, most likely you're sweating. So thank you for watching. That was 7 plus the bonus tip, so 8 common misconceptions about fitness and nutrition. There's a lot of other misconceptions out there about fitness and nutrition that I didn't cover in the video. So if you feel like I left something important out, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions about any of the things I covered, you can ask those as well in the comments, or I'll link my Instagram in the description and you can feel free to message me there. Thank you for watching. If you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you aren't already, please subscribe. I will see you in the next video.